Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, I'm doing connections, or basically degrees of separation. How does one album connect to another? So I'm going to randomly choose an album from my collection, and then I'm going to think of a way that another album might connect to that album. So a lot of albums, of course, as usual, as you know on this channel, 80s hard rock, hair metal, early 90s as well. But that's the type of music I'm going to be looking at, the albums I'm going to be looking at from my collection. So let's get into it. I think you'll get the idea of what I'm talking about as I kind of go through and just do it. So I'm going to randomly select one. This is a good one to start off with. So this is Whitesnake, Slip of the Tongue. This is actually the 30th anniversary remaster. So it's actually 2 LP. Initially it wasn't a 2 LP. So of course this is quite an easy one to really find connections for because it's a bit of a super group. Yeah, it's David Coverdale, but he's got, you know, Rudy Sarzo, Tommy Aldridge, Steve Vai, Adrian Vandenberg on there. So I think what I might do as a connection for this one is actually not even worry about the band members and just think about the song. So the title song, Slip of the Tongue, that's the title song. So I'm going to connect that to House of Lords. So House of Lords, over here, I have to go to the H's. Follow me over here. All right, House of Lords. So here we go. This is House of Lords, and this is their debut album, and they have a song on here called Slip of the Tongue. So this is their debut album. Now, my connection for this one is, well, I think we'll go with executive producer Gene Simmons. That's quite a good one because, you know, this came out on Simmons Records. So, I'm going to go Gene Simmons. He's the executive producer on this one, and he also, so I'll connect that up. Just put that one back. I'll connect that one up to Black and Blue because on that album, or actually a couple of albums, he was the producer. So if we just move over here to the B section. If everything's in the right order, I should be able to find it pretty quickly. There's a lot of bands that start with Black, believe it or not. Here we go. And yeah, so I think he produced a couple of their albums. I'll go with this one. This is In Heat. Great album, actually. It probably might be my favourite Black and Blue album. I think it was their last one. But yeah, produced by Gene Simmons. Of course, a big connection for this one would be the fact that Tommy Thayer is the guitarist for Black and Blue. And of course, he then goes on to become a member of Kiss. But I'm not going to connect it through to Kiss. I'm going to connect it to a much less known band, but a band I have shown on my channel before, and that's Harlow. So Tommy Thayer, after this band breaks up, he joins the band Harlow as the guitarist. I don't think he does any songwriting on it, but he does contribute guitar playing on it. So Harlow, let's go back. I'm back to the H's again. Come back here. Here we go. So this is Harlow, female fronted, and yeah, on guitar. You can't really see him here because the artwork's, yeah, just the way they've done it, it's hard to sort of see the members of the band, but you can see Teresa Australia, I think that's her name, the vocalist. You can see her there quite well. But yeah, Tommy Thayer on guitar. And this one's a bit tricky to link up, but what I will do is I'll look at, so the producer is Pat Regan. So Pat Regan was the producer, and I'll link that up to another album that he has produced, and he is the producer on the Shotgun Messiah album, the second one. So if I go over here to the S's, so this is a great album. This is Shotgun Messiah, Second Coming, and this is the album where Tim Skold, who was the bassist on the first album, now becomes the vocalist. And yeah, produced by Pat Regan. So he's the producer there. And Skold, and Cody, the guitarist and the vocalist, are the producers. But yeah, really good album, this one. To link this to something else, well, I'm going to do something I haven't done yet. And that's, I'm just going to, I have already done. I matched up Slip of the Tongue with another album that also had Slip of the Tongue. This album has Red Hot. So I'm going to match that up with another album that has a song called Red Hot. Can you guess what album that is? If you're thinking Motley Crue, you're thinking right. So I don't have to go very far. My M's are just over here. So yes, Motley Crue also had a song called Red Hot from Shout at the Devil. Here it is. The songs on the back cover are not actually in the order that they come up, but Red Hot, there we go. Good song. Good fast-paced rock on that one. Great album, of course. So, so Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, it's got a song called Red Hot. And I'm going to link that with... Now, this might be a little bit unusual, because actually, in the 80s, Motley Crue pretty much did Motley Crue. But they did do some guest vocalists, or guest background vocals. Not all of them. So Vince and Tommy Lee, they did background vocals on a song by Night Ranger on their Seven Wishes album, I think it was. And also, Tommy Lee and Vince Neil make an appearance on the Secret of My Success music video. So there's actually a couple of Night Ranger albums I could link them to. So there we go, Secret of My Success from this album here, which was the Michael J. Fox movie. They're in the music video. But also, Seven Wishes, Tommy and Vince background vocals on the song Night Machine. So now we're on Night Ranger. It's a pretty obvious one for Night Ranger, isn't it? And I think I'm going to go with that one. So I'm going to link Night Ranger with Damn Yankees. Okay, so Jack Blades, of course, from Night Ranger. After Night Ranger finish up, he ends up in the band Damn Yankees, which was a bit of a super group, really, wasn't it? See if I find Damn Yankees in here under the D's. Okay, I've actually got both Damn Yankees albums. There was a third one, of course, but it hasn't been released. They tried to... I don't exactly know the story, whether it's fully recorded or not, but they definitely made an effort to make a third album, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I've got the first two. I'll just get out the first one. So this is the first one. Jack Blades, of course, from Night Ranger on here, but also you got Ted Nugent and Tommy Shaw. But so there's a couple other bands I could link this to. Of course, Ted Nugent, successful solo as well. Of course, no one really talks about Michael Cataloni. He's on drums. So I'm actually going to try and link him in here a little bit, because he, and also you can link Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades as well, because those three people, so not Ted Nugent, but those three all played on a song, and we're going back to Motley Crue a little bit here, that Vince Neil did. So I'll get out the Vince Neil album, because I've got the Vince Neil solo album. Here it is. Exposed. For Encino Man, he did a song called You're Invited. So it was on the soundtrack, You're Invited, but Your Friend Can't Come. That's written by Tommy Shaw, Jack Blades, and also on the original version of it, Michael Cataloni from Damn Yankees plays drums on it. So there's actually two versions of the song. There's the original soundtrack version, and then there's the version on here on Vince Neil's solo album, which doesn't actually feature Michael Cataloni. It actually features Vic Fox. So that's Vic Fox there. So I'm going to actually connect, my next connection is going to come via Vic Fox, because I'll use Vic Fox to connect to Enough's Enough. So let's come up here. Quite a lot of moving about here. Good exercise for me. It's not too hard. If everything's in alphabetical order, I should be able to find it. So here we go. Enough's Enough. And so Vic Fox, he is the drummer. He was the drummer on the Vince Neil solo album, the first solo album, and he's also the drummer on this album. So really good. This is the debut Enough's Enough album. Vic Fox on drums. I don't think he sticks around for the next album, but obviously I guess he ends up in Vince Neil's band. But from here, I'm going to go with, on guitar, they've got a guy called Derek Frigo. Now, he was also in a band called Le Mans. So I'm going to connect that one up to Le Mans. Come down here. I don't have the first Le Mans, but I've got the second Le Mans. Here they are. This is Le Mans. And if we go to the back, you can see, yeah, so that's Derek Frigo there. He goes on to be in Enough's Enough. So, yeah. And then, so this is this has come out on CBS, but I think there's some Shrapnel connections as well. Maybe the first album was on Shrapnel Records. But, yeah, and also, because it's produced by Mike Varney for Shrapnel Records. But interesting, this is a CBS, on CBS Records, this particular press anyway. But I'm gonna link the next one up to the vocalist of this band. So the vocalist is a guy called Peter Marino. He's the vocalist in this band, but he was also then goes on to be the vocalist in a band that I have talked about on my channel before, but they don't get talked about very much. I really like this band. Only one album, but it's really good. And the band is, and it's easy to find because they're the very first album in my sort of A to Z collection, because the band starts with the number 9. So I start with numbers and then I go to letters. So 9.0 is the band. Too Far Gone is the album. And there's Peter Marino on the vocals there in the middle. Also, what's interesting is Ray Luzier is on drums. He's now on Korn. The guitarist is really good, Craig Small. Yeah, really good guitarist, but he doesn't seem to go on to do anything else. But I'm going to link the next album to the bassist, actually. So the bassist on this one is a guy called Michael Andrews. So I'm not sure actually which one is Michael Andrews, because I know... Oh, this is getting tricky. That's Peter Marino, that's Ray Luzier. Oh, here we go, left to right. So, yeah, and that's Craig Smalls, first guy there. So I'm going to link it to Michael Andrews. So that guy there, the guy I'm trying to point to there, Michael Andrews, he's the bassist, and he then goes on to be... I have to go to the CDs for this one. He goes on to be the bassist in the band, for the band Arcade. So he's bass player on this album and the next album as well. Great band, of course. This band is well known for being really the new band for Stephen Pearcy from Rat. Really good album. The next album, perhaps not quite so good, but this is great. Nothing to Lose, really, it's one of my favourite songs from this album. Yeah, so I guess I could go from here and connect to Rat, but I'm not going to do that. I think I'll go with the guitar player on here is a guy called Michael Wilsex. I think that's, Michael Wilsex. I think he's called Wilsex on this album. Well, he's credited as Wilsex. I think on the album I'm connecting him to, he's known as Wilsey, with it's a Y instead of an X. And the band is the Sea Hags. So if we go down here, Sea Hags. Find the Sea Hags. I think we might finish this up soon. So we can see... Oh, sorry, I said Michael, it's Frankie. Sorry, so yeah, it's Frankie Wilsex. And then on this album, he's known as Frankie Woolsey. But yeah, he's the guitar player. He was the guitar player on Arcade, and he's the guitar player on the One and Done Sea Hags album. Pretty good album. They're kind of going for that Guns N' Roses kind of deal. And yeah, just one and done. I think the bass player in this band overdosed and is no longer around, I'm afraid. They were a bit of a druggy band from what I've heard, but I don't know. This is what I've heard. Yeah, so there we go. I might finish it up now, and it's really easy to finish this one up because what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect it straight back up to where I started. So the producer was Mike Klink, and the producer of this album was also Mike Klink. So there we go. We're going full circle. Actually, I think, Keith Olsen also came in maybe at the end to help with production, but I'm not sure which way it went. Maybe Mike Klink was initially the producer and then Keith Olsen also. But anyway, Mike Klink also credited as a producer for this album. So there we go. There's my connections, degrees of separation, whatever you want to call it. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you later. All right, see ya.